Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to IGN's News, Games, and More. I'm Max Scoville, and I'm joined by Josh Dew.
Hey.
Matt Kim, who's talking to us on a television. You're on Discord at your house. We get to see what you have on your shelf. And, of course, we're joined by our pal, Jeremy. There he is. We didn't talk about this ahead of time. We both wore Misfits shirts, which is great because they're a good band to listen to.
That's right.
So let's get this out of the way. The big, huge news today is that E3 is in fact officially fully canceled by the ESA due to coronavirus COVID-19 concerns. I saw some people in the chat talking about this, being like, "No, they'll turn it back on," or "Oh, maybe it's just canceled for like fan attendees."
Turn it back on.
No, it is donezo. It is not happening this year. Because that is a lot of planning and coordination goes into that happening, and this is kind of earth-shaking in terms of video game stuff. This was, I think E3 got sort of backburnered one year. Like, they've definitely moved it around a couple times, but as far as it being like a full-on we're not doing it, this hasn't really happened. How you guys feeling about that? How do you? Well, let's be cheerful and enthusiastic about this chilling news.
It's a little unsurprising given what's happened up until now. Right? There's been cancellations left and right. They canceled South by Southwest, a whole bunch of concerts, a lot of electronic festivals, things like that.
Yeah, but it feels like those other conferences aren't so heavily tied to other companies. You know, like even though GDC was canceled, it's not the biggest game show, but like E3 is, you know, the biggest game show for most companies, and like including IGN, like we have a lot of, you know, presence there.
Yeah.
As well as game devs, even though Sony pulled out, a lot of smaller game devs, you know, depend a lot on the stuff that happens at E3.
It's not just devs, it's the whole local economy depends on these shows.
Yeah.
Comic-Con, South by Southwest, E3, all of these pump millions and millions and millions of dollars, not just for like those companies, but for people that are just camera operators and construction workers and food vendors,
the guys who build the booths, and the people who work at restaurants that are in that area, and hotels and airlines, and all of these little moving parts that all feed back into each other. So that's not, you know, that might just be a little drop in the bucket from a distance, but it all kind of spreads out and affects everything else.
I mean, Matt Kim would know better from like a overarching business perspective.
Yeah.
But, you know, my read on it is that even if this didn't happen, this pandemic that's raining down on us, E3 has kind of been on the back foot a little bit for the last couple of years, because once Nintendo starts doing directs and other people start looking at that and going like, well, what do I need to go do like a big expensive event for? Why don't I just do it direct? Why don't I just go straight to the people? And then you got last year, and it was just like, were you guys on the floor? Like, how many people watching in the comments were at E3 or kind of saw what that floor looked like? It was just kind of like a little diminished, right?
No, definitely.
Like, sure. I don't know.
The weird thing also is that Nintendo totally revolutionized stuff by making the Nintendo Direct and being like, hey, you can totally do this remotely and just make it a prepackaged, you know, edited thing. But they still have a massive like show floor booth space of being like, hey, come on in and put your hands on our stuff and play the games.
Yeah.
So,
Matt,
Matt,
can you give insight on like what is being affected for like people that do depend on the show?
I mean, you guys are absolutely correct, right? Nintendo sort of was the first shot at E3 by just doing everything with Nintendo Direct. Sony dropping out last year was definitely like the big blow, and that's kind of when the countdown started for when people were like, ooh, is this going to be the last E3 or not? Microsoft has always been like, you know, they claim that they're always a big presence at E3, but even in that way, they actually host their own like E3 stuff in their own separate Microsoft theater, you know? So in a way, they're sort of separate from the show floor anyways. I saw something on Twitter from a publisher who said that indie developers actually might not be the biggest victim of E3, because E3 has always been a show for major publishers, for AAA studios. Right. And so indie games don't really have that big of a presence at E3 to begin with. They thrive in places like GDC and PAX when it focuses on smaller games.
So who is the biggest victim?
The E3 probably as a show. I mean, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft all proved that they can host their own events without E3, like directly to the customers. So if anything, the ESA is probably the biggest victim of E3 being canceled this year.
Do you think there will be an E3 2021?
I think a lot of companies are going to try out a directly digital presentation format. And I think if they all find out that it works, then it might actually have a real long-lasting impact on E3 going forward, you know?
I think, I mean, I could kind of see E3 pivoting in a way because it was like in the past originally started as like a trade show, right? Industry only, kind of like people passing their ideas around, selling ideas to each other. But it's become such a public event, and you know, clearly a lot of fans care about this show. I mean, do you think it could turn into something like Comic-Con?
I think that would be a really smart thing to do, because like we've seen the rise of sort of fan convention culture since E3 was first introduced, and the ESA never really did anything to, you know, adapt to it. They were just kind of like, the first year where fans were allowed in, they just pretty much opened the doors. They were like, "Hey, fans can come in now."
Yeah,
and
there was nothing different.
yeah, and a lot of publishers were sort of irked by this, because they were like, "Hey, we're trying to have like business meetings over here," you know.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's cool to have fan events. It's good to have like fun gaming events, as long as, you know, people wash their hands and there's not a pandemic going on. But
I think it's a little harder to make that work as a fan event. People are pretty split on whether or not it's good to be open to fans or not at E3. Because like, think about the time it takes to wait in line and actually get your hands on something. Only a few people can kind of experience that at a time, and a lot of times you don't even get to play it. You just get to watch like a video or something, which you could just easily do at home. At Comic-Con, it's different, because Comic-Con is all about fluff, you know, and like spectacle and just kind of hanging out. And you can get hundreds of people into a hall and just be like, just watch this thing and then get out.
I mean, you could still do the same E3 behind closed doors demo, but do it, you know, in Hall H at the San Diego Convention Center.
Yeah, maybe.
And then everyone sees, you know, Skyrim 2 gameplay for the first time, and only 3 cell phone videos of it leak.
Yeah. I could totally see that happening.
The thing that I think what should happen is take a cue from Gamescom, which is both an industry and a fan event, where they have basically business days for the first 3 days, I think, and there's a whole business center, and it's like much quieter on the show floor, and then everyone does their business meetings and their, you know, media coverage, and then they bounce, and then they open the doors for the entire weekend, and it becomes this big, huge, massive fan event, and it's like kind of the best of both worlds. They don't have to tear down the booths. Everyone can come in and try the games.
What's that location called where they do Gamescom?
Colmesa.
Yeah, Colmesa.
I'm probably saying that.
Colmesa?
It's
Yeah.
the Cologne,
You know,
Cologne, you know.
The big ass place in Cologne.
One of the biggest places I've ever been.
It's I don't know that the LA Convention Center is big enough for that, quite frankly. Like,
No, absolutely not.
The Colmesa is like many times larger. And so it's better suited to accommodate that many people and move more bodies through the demos and everything. So I'm not sure where in the U.S. you could replicate that outside of maybe Vegas, which everyone is always talking about.
Vegas makes sense. It's a destination. There's enough hotels. People like to go there for fun. Downtown LA is kind of a different story, you know, as much as...
There's not much going on in downtown LA.
What are you talking about? There's LA Live.
Okay.
Yard House.
Yeah.
Well,
Hell
so
yeah.
I'm assuming most of our audience also hasn't been to E3 before, right? Do you think there's kind of a difference in what people expect and what the reality of the show is? Kind of like, what are they really missing out on?
I mean, definitely. Yeah. Like I've seen this, and I've met fans at E3 and talked to them about this. But you know, there's this kind of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory idea of like going behind the scenes and getting up close and personal with things. And the fact that, you know, E3 did just open the doors to fans entirely, and they were like, "Come on in and try everything," and there wasn't any, you know, it's like a poorly run theme park.
Yeah,
you know?
I think. I mean, for me personally, like I had a really idealized version of what E3 was like. I mean, seeing all the announcement things, like I thought it would be a lot like Hall H, what you were talking about at Comic-Con, where anybody can just come in, and if they line up and they can see, you know, the trailer before, you know, 3 seconds before everybody else. But it really isn't like that. Like, I mean, I've been working here for 4 years. I've never been in one of those rooms, and I just access this convention floor where people just set up booths and you can play games if you want to, if you wait in line long enough. There isn't that much spectacle, right? And I think that if we had that sort of Comic-Con element where it's really fan-driven and there's a lot of things to look at.
But that exists already, and it's called PAX.
Exactly.
Right? So what you're talking about is PAX, and that's already there. E3 is not
Gamescom. Yeah, I mean, it's the...
E3. Let's be real. E3 is a marketing event, right? That's for all of the big AAAs and AA's to come out and say like, here are the games that you're going to be buying, at the end of the year and then throughout next year. The big question here is, if they don't do that at E3, when do they do that? Like, does this free them up to go do those things at any time of the year and maybe kind of think outside the box and what their marketing strategy is? Or are we still going to be in the cycle of, it's June, so it's time to get all those announcements out whether you're ready or not?
It's tough.
I kind of hope it's the latter, only because there is a little bit of a tradition to it, and I think traditions can be important in industries. And there is a networking element to it, and there is a lot of, I don't know, people build their businesses around that.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, it's good for the local economies.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it go away. I do think that it needs to evolve, obviously, in some way. And I think a lot of that evolution is going to happen digitally.
Yeah, and the digital direct format has some advantages too. Like it has those things where you can be like, here's a new game, here's a new trailer for it, and it's out today, right? And you can just kind of plan that directly when you control your own show.
I think my favorite was one year Konami tried to jump on the sort of Nintendo Direct approach, and they had their own press conference, but it was all like pre-recorded. But they were still like, we're airing this live, and it was on their official website. But you could just like drag the playhead around, so it was like, oh, this is live, cool. Everyone who really cares about Pro Evolution Soccer, they can watch this, but I'm gonna skip ahead, and just fast forward. So I mean, I don't know. I think the Nintendo Direct approach is like pretty to the point.
It's pretty to the point, but it does kind of take away. I mean, like you said, Jeremy, like having this one big day or section of days where all these announcements are happening. It creates a lot more hype for sure. I mean, when I think about, again, Comic-Con, like we know trailers are going to drop for Comic-Con. What's going to be announced? Mahershala Ali's Blade. That's crazy. Also, Marvel's putting out 4 new shows. That's crazy. And I think, splitting all those announcements up across the year does kind of give this diminishing effect feeling.
The other weird thing about E3 that sort of has changed in spite of it not changing is it used to be, it was a trade show that was like a company would come out and show off what they were presumably releasing that holiday season, because when it was first started, video games were for the most part toys, and it was a thing that moms and dads would buy around Christmas time. So like you'd be like in June, you're like, hey, here's what's coming out this holiday season, this is the big reveal. And now it's like games come out year round. You look at like Sony's lineup over the next few months, and it's just like a bunch of stuff leading up to it, and like presumably there are going to be new consoles coming out this fall, but you look at like, I don't know, things are just dropping every which way. Like we've got 2 massive AAA games coming out next week.
Yeah.
It's, what's that in time for? Like graduation, Easter? Like, I don't know.
We have a
Patty's
commenter, Spectre Gaming, who I think has been on a few of these shows. So thanks for watching, dude. It says, I don't think they could say that here, but would love to see how IGN pivots. Will you start trying to create more IGN first style content so you can break these news details in a post E3 world? That's funny because like I kind of feel like IGN of all companies is situated in such a way where I think we can easily pivot with this change, right? Like we're used to doing IGN first stuff and doing like pre and post show streams on gameplay reveals and all kinds of other stuff. So I'm pretty comfortable saying that whatever happens with E3 going forward, that we're just going to kind of roll with it. What do you guys say?
Yeah, we've built the sort of business model here. I keep knocking this microphone and shocking myself. No, we built this whole business model on like trying to show E3 to people who couldn't be there, and now like no one can be there. So like what do we do with that? Like it's definitely, I think we can adapt to it. Like, I mean, we're making a show in a studio right now. One of us is I want to say Skyping in, but you're not on Skype, so
Discording in.
Hell yeah.
It's funny that this is happening when we're all just starting to do a live show every single day.
Yeah. But hey, it's news.
Actually, I guess one thing I wonder about is I feel like we're too into the idea that's like one or the other, that it's either one big show where everybody comes in or one like digital only thing where everybody does their own thing. But what if like all these companies just start their own conventions? Like there used to be a PlayStation experience, but what if they bring it back? Obviously not this year because of the health crisis, but 2021, right? Everybody does their own little small PlayStation Live event, Xbox Live event. a Ubisoft live event. Who knows?
I mean, they do those now. They're just a little bit smaller. They're not on the scale of what they do at E3.
I love this idea. I think the more focused an event is, the more fun it is.
Yeah, agreed.
Like PSX is fun because it's like a lot of people who are kind of on the same page there. There's a lot of sort of general positivity. Star Wars Celebration is the same way. I mean, the thing that's weird about like Comic-Con at this point is that it's like it's not even comics. It's like comic-ish based movies, TV, some games.
That's basically
but also
every movie and TV show.
It's just kind of pop culture Coachella. But with like a lot of just extra nonsense and kind of like random, rubbernecking going on too. And it's like there's no clear like point there. Like if you go to Comic-Con, you're not a nerd, you're a person in San Diego,
Yeah.
or somebody who has like a passing interest in like supernatural or like it's just like
and you want to see a celebrity for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought for a second that Bethesda was going to pivot QuakeCon to becoming their like dedicated convention and being like, hey, this is the this is the Bethesda Con or whatever. But it's still just QuakeCon. They occasionally reveal like new stuff there. I think Gearbox did. I think they did like Gearbox Days or something. They held a thing.
Wasn't last year's QuakeCon really heavy into Doom though?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. They literally called it DoomCon. Do you remember?
That's right. I mean, Nintendo also called like 2012 the year of Luigi or whatever.
So my thing is this. I would prefer that they didn't like just break everything apart and have everybody do their own thing, because I'm just not a joiner, and I don't know if like anybody in chat would back me up on this, but I have always been like a multi-platform person. I like to kind of like dip my toes in on PC and play some weird games on there that don't exist on consoles, but then also play the exclusive PlayStation and Nintendo games, and I would play the exclusive Xbox games if there were any. But
hey.
Having E3 is a place where you can say like, here are games that are going to be on all the platforms, and here are like a bunch of different exclusives, and it's more exciting because there's more to take in. And if you break that apart, I just don't think it has that same level of excitement for people that are more like kind of generalists. It becomes a fanboy thing.
Traveling 100 times a year.
Yeah, and that also.
No, I think I'm with you there. Yeah, if it becomes too like fanboy, it's like, oh, here are the PlayStation fanboys, and here's the Xbox fanboys, and Bethesda, whatever. Like, it might get a little, console war-y.
The thing I love though is that no matter how like single focused it is, there's always like some booths that will just show up regardless. Like there's always going to be like an energy drink booth or like just sort of an all-purpose nerd merch section where it's like, hey, it's you want to get a Guardians of the Galaxy T-shirt? Like, come on by. And it's like, sir, this is a PlayStation convention. Like, whatever you want, Funko Pops, we got them, baby. Come on by. And it's like, okay, well that's your hustle there. Then again, you go to like a Renaissance fair and there's like a dude dressed up like Predator. It's like, Predator could go to the Renaissance. You don't know that.
Predator doesn't even time travel. That's stupid.
There was a musket in the second one. They were totally going to go back in time with that series.
Do they time travel?
They don't time travel, but they're like really old. They're like an old species.
That's not the same thing.
No, I don't know. Like,
listen, if you're showing up to a Ren Fair dressed like a Predator, stop it.
Why? It's fun. It's exciting.
How did we start talking about Predator?
There are rules at Ren Fairs.
There are rules. You could be Bill and Ted. Right? You could be Marty McFly.
I don't know. I think the
Predator, no.
No, the Predators, they were around in Renaissance times. They could have existed. I feel like at that point, human technology wasn't, exciting enough that they would
show me the evidence.
Yeah, is that canon?
It's canon that they look. There's a musket at the end of Predator 2. They were clearly doing old-timey stuff. They're coming by Earth.
Were there muskets at Ren Fairs?
No. But in Alien versus Predator, there's that whole Aztec temple under the Antarctic, where they were like, oh yeah, this is where the Predators would come to fight aliens for some reason.
Okay.
Because Paul W.S. Anderson read some Lovecraft and was like, aha, I will do this too. Anyway, we should probably change the subject to something else.
I just Googled it. Were predators around in Renaissance times? And there's no results.
There's no evidence that the Yautja species existed in Renaissance.
So if you're doing that at Renaissance Fair, stop it.
Your fan theory
Stop
weak,
it.
Max.
Anyway, there's also like you'll get like Doctor Who's walking around, which I guess makes slightly more sense, though again, none of it makes any sense.
What are the chances, you guys? Matt, maybe you can answer this. What are the chances that we even get Gamescom this year at this point? Like, I think Comic-Con, in my opinion, is like that's a foregone conclusion. There's no way that's happening. I just feel like there's no way. But Gamescom is a big ass question mark because that's much later in the year. What do we think?
Yeah, I mean, fall events are couple or much further away. So I guess it depends on how the summer plays out, but it's definitely a not 0% chance that it also ends up getting canceled or postponed. So
Right.
Again, the thing about Gamescom is that it is like noticeably larger than E3. I don't know how it scales compared to Comic-Con exactly, but Gamescom is 300,000 attendees.
How does it scale with like proximity to the next closest human being? Because Comic-Con
It's also the most like crowded.
Yeah. Comic-Con is crazy crowded.
Yeah, Gamescom is almost twice the size of.
I don't think anything is like as crowded as Comic-Con because there's just so many people in so small of a space.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's parts of Gamescom that are definitely pretty crowded.
You're like,
it's also
you're like bumping shoulders. at
yeah,
Gamescom?
that's also like full on international.
Sure.
So that's
yeah.
I mean that I don't know. That's like European international where countries are, I feel like it's easier to get between them and you just hop on a train and go for 3 hours and you're there. But like
very true.
The thing that worries me is that there was an article today on the New York Times, and the headline reads, "Coronavirus live updates. Merkel says 2/3 of Germans could become infected." So apparently Germany is fast becoming a high-risk country for infection.
all of us could become infected.
Sure.
100% of everyone can be infected. That's kind of how these viruses work.
yeah, and then there's the issue of like if people are not able to
Two-thirds is a lot to project though.
Yeah, 3/3 is also.
yeah, that's more than
Three-thirds
half.
is even more. Wow,
Yeah.
you're really good at math.
Hey, man.
Is it because you just got out of high school?
Yeah, I had an econ degree from college. I could do math.
Tight.
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Rad.
Do you have an econ degree? I didn't think so.
I sure don't.
Yeah.
I think for sure if events do continue, they're definitely going to be a lot smaller. If not in terms of how how they get capped off. If people just probably aren't going to be traveling as much, whether they're feeling icky and wary of going in massive crowded places, or because they're worried about money, or because I don't know. Like I feel like this has a lot of sort of long tail results to it.
Even sporting
That didn't
events.
stop these weirdos. Let me pull up an image on the screen here real
Oh,
quick.
you're talking about the blue face?
Yeah. Hang on.
Yeah, here we go.
Give me a second. I got to find this.
Blue man face. But I mean, this also hurt sporting events as well. The Warriors just announced today that tonight's game, I think, won't have any fan attendance at all. And it's just going to be weird watching a live sporting event with no fans or none of these people.
Oh, there's that.
Yeah.
That sure is that.
Yeah,
Didn't you know blue protects you from germs?
Should we talk about what they're
is
doing?
this? What's up with this? What's up with the French in the Smurf festival? Like,
Actually, they're
Anyone?
called Schtroumpfs.
Strumps?
Les Schtroumpfs.
Les Strumps.
AV Club had an article that we were sharing around this morning. It says, "Defying all logic and reason, the world record for largest Smurf gathering has just been broken." At no point did these guys go like, maybe now is not the time to go for the world record Smurf gathering. I don't think it's that important. I'm not sure that it's worth it. I'm not sure that it's worth putting ourselves at risk for. But then they were like, you know what? Forget it. Let's do this.
How did the previous one come about? The previous record.
You'd have to ask a Smurf, I guess.
Yeah.
Is there
they all
like
Smurf together, and
is there a word for people that are like really into Smurfs, like as a fetish?
I think just Smurfs.
Yeah.
Probably. They like to Smurf.
They use the word Smurf for like all like adjectives, nouns, verbs, etc.
I think it's really promising and kind of progressive how many more Smurfettes they have here than normally, which was one. Period.
You got to give them that.
Yeah, there's much more diversity and
Yeah, they're breaking the canon
Smurfity, if anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe covering yourself in blue body paint means that you don't like you have like a protective film on.
That's
you.
what I'm saying.
I'm not going to test that, but
Yeah.
like
You're locking in the germs.
Yeah.
And protecting yourself.
as long as they're not touching their faces, I think they're okay.
They're all wearing gloves.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
touch your face because you don't want to get the makeup off your face.
Yeah.
Because then they would know that you're not a real
Yeah.
Smurf.
I don't
and
think
they would-
anybody told this guy right here. He's definitely been touching his face. You can tell.
I think he's been going to town on some Smurf berries.
Wait, is that somebody's wearing blue gloves, right?
They're all.
Oh, they're
a
all
lot of them are wearing
they're all-
gloves.
Oh, they're being really hygienic then.
Oh, it's probably nitrile too,
They're
because a lot of
fine.
people have latex allergies. That's great.
Dude, they're fine.
I'm glad we only have a picture of this because if I saw anything more, that I would vomit uncontrollably.
Is there? Yeah, this is
Don't
the
lie,
only.
you'd be too
This is
aroused.
the only photo I've seen of this event, and I'm
That's the only photo you need to see. It tells you everything you need to know.
little bit curious. I'm a little bit Smurfious about more evidence of this event.
You ever been Smurf curious before?
Yeah,
Good Lord.
I am now. This photo has awoken something.
All right.
Enough of that.
Shall we smurf on from that smurfing subject?
We should.
So yeah, let's talk about some Google Stadia stuff, just to really keep things positive and cheerful. We got news that Doom Eternal on Google Stadia will not be true 4K.
Oh man, who would have thought?
Wow. So yeah, Bethesda released some technical specifications for each platform that Doom is coming to, which they also apparently leaked earlier this week. The Google Stadia version of Doom Eternal will run at 1080p at 60 frames a second on HD displays and upsample to 2160 from 1800p at 60 frames a second on 4K displays. So yeah, that's I feel like that's something different from what they announced.
I'm sorry, Max. Are you telling me that Stadia wrote a check with their mouth that their ass can't cash?
Yes,
Why even bother at this point? Just
it's true. Why even bother? I mean,
Yeah.
is this a big deal to you guys? Like, I mean, were you? I mean, it's hard to even get an opinion on this because most people that I've talked to weren't even into Stadia that much in the first place.
Yeah, but this was like one of their big selling points.
For sure.
Was that you are going to be able to play Doom Eternal day one, and it's going to stream at 4K. And people are like, that's just not possible. And they're like, yeah, believe me. You watch. You'll see.
Do you think they thought it would be ready by now, and they were just like, yeah, we're gonna get it ready, but then they just didn't? Like,
I think they thought a lot of things.
yeah.
Yeah. They were like, wait, March 20th? Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
I mean, to be fair, March 20th caught a lot of us off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it shows up. It's just squeezed between the 19th and the 21st. It's easy to miss it over there.
Never expect it. You never see it coming.
Yeah. So I don't, honestly, like, the weird thing about this is that I feel like we wouldn't even really talk about it, but Stadia has been such disastrous. Like the fact that a technically a new console came out last year, and we work for the biggest video game news website in the world. Have you guys played Stadia?
I played it a little bit. Yeah.
Where?
Here in the office.
That we have one?
Yeah.
I don't know where it is.
Oh, well,
I've never played it.
I'll show you after the show.
Is it cool?
It's all right. I mean,
yeah.
I played Destiny on it. It was
Okay.
all right. I
Fair
mean, the
enough.
thing is, like, I feel like a lot of us at IGN and most gamers in general enjoy playing their games on the biggest screen possible. And I think Stadia isn't really going for that. Stadia is going for this, like, oh, you can play your games anywhere, even if it's on your, tiny phone. And so when I was playing Destiny on a phone, I was like, oh, this is fine. If I wanted this.
Yeah, I got.
But I don't want this.
I got to really question like who is like super pissed about this and who is just kind of dunking on them for tripping on their shoelaces once again, because the difference between true 4K and what they're pushing is 3200 versus 3840 pixels. And so like I have to ask you, do you think that the human eye can really detect that difference like on a phone or like a tablet or something, which is kind of the selling point of this?
Well, furthermore,
they're not playing it on a big ass TV. That's not the selling point.
who bought into Stadia? Who is willing to?
Well, nobody bought into Stadia.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
There's like there are people out there who bought it. Not a lot of them, but there are some people out there. But at this point, how many of those people? I don't think there's any like brand evangelists. Like we've got people in the console in the comments here arguing back and forth about Nintendo and PS5. Yeah, Own Opinion Gamer says PS5 is the power, and then
PS5
Max
is the
Angel said
power.
PS5. I love that people just come in here and just argue about it's great. They're boxes. It's fine. They're only as good as the games that are on them. But the point is that Stadia, I think we can all agree, is just like nobody's coming in here and be like, yeah, Stadia. Like it's.
Yeah.
I
think Google made like a gambit where they had such a success with YouTube where people just watch like 7-minute videos every day, like maybe chain them together, but like they don't watch more than like 30 minutes at a time. And I think they kind of assumed that people would game the same way too, but that's just not the case.
Mm-hmm. I think Stadia is designed in mind for people that, want to kind of just game casually and like on the go, sitting on their toilet. Whatever.
I got to tell you, initially, I was into the idea, and I think I would still be open to it if it you know, if it worked, if it had games, if I was able to play stuff from my Steam library through a service like the way that GeForce is supposed to do, which is another service that's having some problems, you know, because here's my situation. Like, I'm a dad, right? I got a wife. She wants to watch TV. My kids are doing all kinds of stuff. I got to share the TV. I got the one TV in the house. I want to play games. I can't just play games, right? So, you know, if I had Stadia or something like this, I could just be sitting there with my phone or my tablet and be like, yeah, I'm paying attention. Yeah, no, I'm hanging out with everybody, but really I'm playing Doom.
Yeah. But when it comes to 4K, who cares, right?
I'm not going to know the difference.
You're not. But
I don't even have a 4K TV. I'm poor.
Yeah.
Well, a great place to play, you know, like games on the go would be on the go, like on the bus or on an airplane.
Which it doesn't
Or
do.
yeah, or in a hotel room.
Yeah, so
but none of those places currently have good Wi-Fi for like regular stuff, let alone playing.
Well, I mean, if you have unlimited data,
That's a
you're
whoopsie.
great.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
great. But I
yeah.
mean, are you going to have consistent, solid, unlimited data to the point where it will not cause your game to lag and Satan to kill you in Doom Eternal, which is a thing that can happen, and you've got to be careful about that.
GoTrek74 on Twitter has a really good tagline for this type of mobile gaming: dump gaming.
Oh, when you're playing a dump, or sorry, when you're taking a dump
Yeah.
and you're playing the game.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
they meant we should just dump gaming as a hobby and go do something else.
No, we should never do that. Don't
I was
do that.
I
please
was
don't.
thinking
You'd
we
have
should
to go
just
outside or
should
something.
go
It'd
for
be
an
horrible.
amicable breakup and just try to remain friends, but really not see each other as much. Basically, what I'm saying is I want a casual gaming relationship.
That's right.
Oh boy.
Hey, I want to just give a shout out real quick to this gameplay here. This is extremely hard mode gameplay by James Duggan.
Yeah.
What do you call the Slayer mode? Is that what it is?
I don't think
in
we're
the
allowed
new
to
game?
say it on our there
It's
two swear words next to each other.
Two swear words? I think
Yeah.
we're only allotted one swear word.
This is just first person Super Meat Boy.
James Duggan is pretty good at games, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for this game though, for real.
It does
Yeah?
look bitchin'.
I honestly don't really care about Doom. Why can't you wait for this game?
I mean, are you looking at the same
I
video
am.
as I am?
Yeah.
Does that not? Come on,
I mean,
it's first person Super Meat Boy.
The platforming stuff is what I'm not into. So I mean, I think some people like, I don't know, people play Doom differently, or maybe I play Doom differently from Doom people do. But like the thing that I always hate, I love the part where you are ripping a demon's like jaw out of his ass, and you're like throwing chainsaws, and it's just a bloody, you know, heavy metal wreck, and then that all dies down, and then you're like, all right, where are my keys? And you got to go find the keys to be like, all right, I'm going to open the door. And then you go in the elevator and it's like,
yeah, I feel
like-
like this ultra violent stuff after a while also just kind of gets numbing for sure. It's just
It's
like,
it's not just about the violence, it's about the gameplay. Because the thing about it is, Ryan McCaffrey and I did a video about this recently about how Doom doesn't waste your time. Like, so many games are like 10-hour games wrapped up in a 40-hour experience
Sure.
where you're wasting all kinds of time like fiddling around with a bunch of dumb RPG crap that doesn't have anything to do with the gameplay because you're trying to play a goddamn first-person shooter.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like managing your inventory, and it's like, and they're like, oh, so, you know, back 100 years ago, the golden seraphim took the sword of the Lord's angel, and you're like, who gives a shit? I just want to shoot some demons.
Yeah.
And this game is like, forget it, just go shoot the demons. And you're like, okay,
yeah,
finally,
right.
God
Until you get lost and you're like, I have to go find the elevator, and you get like turned around. You have to check your map, because that does happen in Doom. That happened in the original Doom. Like, it's labyrinthian level design, which is great because it's not just like,
yeah, but we're so
you
much more accustomed to that
not
now.
a Call
Like,
of Duty hallway.
We're playing
It's
all these
smarter now.
big open world games, and so like this even feels like these feel like much smaller maps in comparison to like even like Borderlands
Yeah.
or something.
Oh yeah.
So
No, I'm not knocking it. I'm definitely like, I'm into it. I might check it out. I just
The real miracle of like the recent Doom games is that it feels as good as it looks to play. You know,
ooh.
yeah.
Yeah.
like the
It
game
makes makes you feel like Doom guy.
wow.
Yeah. It's-
Doom Eternal
it's
made
buttery.
me a better Doom guy.
I've learned my my most important life lessons from Doom. You know, never trust demons. Always carry a chainsaw.
Rip and tear until
Rip
it is
and tear.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's, I don't know. Doom kicks ass. Like, I guess I don't know if I'll jump into this, get like, you know, super hardcore into it. I'll definitely mess with it at some point. I'm just happy it exists, you know? Like, I'm happy that,
Yeah.
like, Doom and Mortal Kombat were two of my favorite things in the universe when I was like the angriest little ball of rage fifth grader. And that little fifth grader is still in here somewhere. And I'm happy that they didn't try to like, I don't know, try to reinvent these things. They just like boiled them
Yeah.
down to what they always were. It's like about ripping spines out and screaming and guitar solos, and it's good. It's good stuff.
I think what Jeremy was saying about how like Doom just lets you play Doom, right?
Yeah, I love role playing games, like really fussy, dorky, super complicated, like CRPGs and stuff. But when I'm playing one of those, I want to play one of those. And when I'm playing Doom, I want to play Doom. I don't always love it when they try to mix them up. And Doom is like one of the only games that's just like, this is just a shooter. This is just like a big dumb awesome rad heavy metal shooter.
We have like the first like 10 minutes or something on IGN, and like within the first 15 seconds you already make your first kill. And I love that. I love games that really just cut to the chase and let you play the game, and especially for a game like Doom where its specialization is shooting, people and tearing them apart. Like, it seems to have that in spades.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, before we move on, I just want to make sure that we just touch real quick on the Stadia thing one more time.
Okay.
Because we have an award for Stadia here, introducing the Fallout 76 award for achievements in the field of disappointing us, or what did you call it? The
Fossifafidus. So this is, and also like if anyone from Bethesda's mad that we are making fun of Fallout 76, we just got done filleting Doom. So like, come on, give me a break.
You win some, you lose some. Yeah, that's how this works.
No, I don't know. I mean, I wish I could be like, yeah, no, Fallout 76. They totally they fixed it over time, and it's like I feel like they're for this. Well, oh wait, they're not having E3 this year. Maybe whatever on their Skype call that they have,
it's almost comical how they're like, I'm sorry that the backpacks were nylon. And not canvas. We'll send you these new ones. And they're like, I'm sorry that the new ones were filled with rats. That was a weird mistake. Like that, I don't know how that happened.
That's authentically Fallout, though. Yeah. Have a backpack full of rats. No, I don't know. Maybe they'll fix it at some point, but I feel like the scramble to make like, oh, it's a shared world RPG shooter universe. It's fine.
But we're not here to dunk on Fallout 76 right now. We're here to dunk on Stadia. I think Stadia could still turn it around too. Anybody can turn anything around.
So I think Google, I don't know if have they said like we've got a long roadmap to take care of this. We plan to support it. Like I feel like companies will do that. I mean, EA said that about Anthem, which they haven't really kept on doing there. But Google also has like infinity money, so like they could if they wanted to.
I have some like connects with people that work at Google, and all I know about Stadia is that if you're not part of the Stadia team, you know nothing about Stadia. Like usually Google is like pretty open about the projects they're working on. So employees who are working on, Google, like Gmail can also, work on search, whatever. They know what's going on between departments except for Stadia. They have a building dedicated to Stadia and a special key card for it. If you're not on the Stadia team, you don't get to know what's happening in there. So hearing that makes me think, okay, they're pretty serious.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what went wrong with the Stadia launch alongside the Apple TV Plus launch, I think a thing that my phone told me I had a free trial of, which I didn't even know about. I was like, oh, cool, I guess, maybe, is these are companies that are so used to people, lapping up every word when they announce something new or just automatically using it. Like I have a Google Doc open in front of me right now because that's a thing that I use constantly.
Right.
Whereas YouTube was a service that I was already using when I think Google scooped them up.
Yeah.
But like when they came out, they were sort of like, no, people will probably want this new video game console. It's like weird. Very much like if you build it, they will come. But it's like, no, that works for like free word processing and like a place to watch infinite videos online.
Yeah. Google also has a really big problem with like starting a lot of new apps and then abandoning them like a year later. Like what was their original chat thing? It was like Hangouts,
Circles.
Oh yeah,
or Google Plus.
Oh, Google Plus,
which had circles.
You used to have to have Google Plus to even have a YouTube account and stuff. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And they would brag how many people signed up for Google Plus. They'd be like, "There's millions of people on Google Plus," and we're like, "Yeah, because you made us sign up for it to have a YouTube account or to even watch it."
I did something where I had like an old YouTube channel and I like linked it with the Google Plus thing, and it basically like it just endlessly locked me out. And I was like, well, I can't go and. I can't get to those videos anymore. Like I'm just stuck. Like
Thanks, Google Plus.
You bricked my YouTube channel. So anyway, I guess on a positive note, I'm interested to see where this one goes. But we got our sort of first look at Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure, which is, of course, the sort of MCU version of, a Disney park.
Oh, you know what? I might have to pull up pictures of that from the website or something.
Do we have some pictures? Yeah. So IGN's Laura Prudhomme went and checked it out and explored, and it.
I mean, there's no like physical photos of it, but I have some pictures from the website of like concept art.
Yeah. And the like cast members, right?
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. I mean, you can see right here. This is interesting. I'm pretty sure this is the former Tower of Terror. Now the Guardians ride.
Mm-hmm.
People are pretty split on that one, to be honest. What are your thoughts on that? Have you been on that ride?
Yeah, it's very underwhelming.
You thought so?
Yeah. I mean, especially for the hype that I had like going into it, it was like, I don't know. It was pretty underwhelming for me.
See, now I dug it. Like I went in there all mad because I really liked the Tower of Terror how it was, and I was like, why would they change that Tower of Terror?
Yeah.
But then I went on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and I'm like, no, this is actually pretty cool. I don't mind it.
I mean,
Yeah, I still haven't done it.
the most interesting part of that ride for me was while I was waiting in line, I watched all of Meyerowitz stories on my phone.
Wow.
Fun.
You saw that
Wow.
movie? Noah Baumbach? Anybody?
And you don't
Any
like Google
Baumbach?
Stadia? You're like their perfect audience.
I know. If it worked, I'd love it. Yeah.
So anyway, the Marvel themed expansion is Avengers Campus, and it opens, knock wood, on July 18th. But
we'll see.
it's got a bunch of.
Oh, do you think Disneyland will close?
Oh
Wait,
man, if
ooh.
Disneyland closes,
Oh,
that's
I hadn't even thought about
extremely next level bad.
that. Yeah.
Wait, is this Disney World or Disney California Adventure?
This is California Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys ever think California Adventure is more fun than Disneyland?
No.
I haven't been to a Disney park ever, so I don't.
Ever?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's so weird.
It's yeah.
Would you go to this?
I don't know. I get like it's one of those things like
Why do you hate fun?
because I was extremely poor growing up.
Mm.
I had to learn
That'll
how to
do
have
it.
fun as an adult.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Yeah.
No, I don't know. Like at this point, like I like MCU stuff. I go see the movies, but I'm like, it's also if you told me like when I was 9 years old and just a ball of rage, just wanting to play Doom and Mortal Kombat all the time, that there would be there'd be Disney parks for like Marvel and for Star Wars. I'd be like, get me in there right now. And as an
Yeah.
adult, it's like, yeah, there's lines and it's expensive and like, you gotta like wait, you gotta wait behind people and
Yeah.
there's like children everywhere. I'd be like, no, I don't want that.
I don't
Destin
know.
said, if you don't have photos, feel free to use my vacation photos. Don't tempt me. I will do it.
Do we have any cool photos of Destin we can pull up? Any graphics?
Why did
Karate
you,
Man?
Max? Why did you highlight the word campus?
I don't know. It's like a weird nervous tick of just tapping.
Oh, okay.
It's one of my favorite features of my favorite Google game, which is Docs.
I mean, it's also a weird thing to call your like Marvel park, the Avengers Campus. I only think of like
I just have the one.
school campuses.
Yeah, what are they going for with that?
It's got like a storyline, and the storyline is you're being taught by the Marvel heroes how to be a Marvel hero.
Oh,
Aren't they always like trying to kick each other's asses in airport parking garages and stuff?
That'd be
That's
cool.
all the lessons, man. That's fucking. Oh, whoops.
Hey,
Hey, we get one.
yeah.
We got one.
No,
Yeah,
you
one.
get some X-Men in
though.
there. You get some X-Men in the MCU, and I'm interested.
That's
Let me go
true.
visit Xavier's Academy, and I will go like I will be one of those like,
Oh, so if they added the Xavier's Academy, you'd be.
I mean that's the thing that's going to get me immediately way more excited about MCU
Yeah.
stuff in general.
I mean, that's definitely like a possibility. Like a
Yeah.
for sure.
Here we go. I was able to find one of Destin's
Hey!
vacation photos.
Hey,
So here's an early look.
He
at
went
one
on
of-
a vacation to space.
is that his Star-Lord get up?
No, this is one of the.
Hey.
They're doing a Dead
That's Star
Space
Wars.
California adventure, and this is one of the actors who's going to be.
So that's one of the costumes. Yeah.
And this is still work in progress. Obviously, the Halo 3 poster will not be part of the Dead Space adventure.
I mean, did you guys see some of the outfits, the costumes for the employees for the Marvel
Do you want-
campus? It's
Do you want to move on to the costumes?
Yeah.
I can
What's
pull
your,
that
what are
up.
your thoughts, Matt? You want to prep us for what we're about to lay our eyes on?
I hope it gets better. Is I guess all I can say.
Are they just wearing like cargo pants and like Under Armour shirts? Like half the MCU
Personally,
people
it's
off.
not-
There's
when I see it,
Spider-Man.
I'm like, it's not too far removed from like something you get for Halloween. Is just what I'm saying. But I
Wow.
think these are early days.
I mean, wouldn't you say the same about any of the cast members at Disneyland?
Is Progressive Flo also one of the cast members? Is she going to be there? Is she part of the
Dude,
MCU?
did Disney buy Progressive?
If Progressive Flo was there, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, are we allowed to show this advertisement on the show?
I don't know.
A Geico, you could use. Wait, is it progressive? No,
Wait,
no.
go to the next one. Wait. Go to the one where it shows all of them.
That's like the last one, I think.
Oh, then go back.
Here, let me see. Yeah,
There it
there's
is.
the whole team.
Can we-
There's
can we
everybody
full
right
screen
there.
That?
Oh, so there's a man
Full
dressed up
screen as it
like
gets.
Groot.
Right. Yeah, it's a little bigger.
Okay.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
it's costumes.
It looks a little bit better than like cosplay.
I've seen him in person, like the Guardians. They walk around outside the Guardians Tower of Terror or whatever the hell it's called right now.
Yeah.
And I've seen the Black Panther too, and in person, it plays. You're in a theme park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it works.
The thing that's weird is like I think with with like Galaxy's Edge, or I guess with with Disney like mainline Disney stuff, it's also like kind of cartoony and kid friendly that your brain is like, oh yeah, I shouldn't not.
I don't know about this guy's wig right here.
No thank you. Yeah, you get better costumes if you go to Comic-Con, but you're at Comic-Con, you're like, why would all these heroes be here? And you have to like,
Look at Star-Lord.
We don't.
see
Our
him at
eyes
all.
aren't that good.
Yeah.
The
Maybe Matt. He's wearing glasses.
What is that? Can you see it?
the
Can you
thing
see it at all,
about it is the thing about it is
It's fine.
even when you see the real movie costumes like on set and not like
Oh, yeah.
lit and color corrected and with
Right.
VFX added and all that stuff, they look kind of stupid too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not possible for a normal human person to not look kind of dumb in broad daylight dressed like Captain America. I mean, give me a break.
I like this comment from JRG502 who says, Dr. Very Strange Wig.
That's good.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Nice. Good.
Have you
God.
guys heard about the food that they're serving there?
Is it just like shawarma? Is it like regular?
No.
The
food?
restaurant's called Pim's Test Kitchen, which sounds
They do have a shawarma
nefarious.
cart, though.
They do have shawarma?
Yeah, it's one of the things.
Oh,
I was
that's
interested in.
smart.
You got to have a throwback to the one food joke that was in a movie 10 years ago.
I mean, it's
No,
iconic.
they had tacos in Endgame.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Taco.
Yeah.
They're Taco Bell tacos too, right?
Were they?
I'm pretty sure they're Taco
They
Bell.
didn't have a
placement.
Taco Bell though. They were up in like upstate New York and in like the compound.
I mean,
But is it
they're
like
the
the-
Avengers.
Today's
the-
episode is brought to you by Taco Bell. Is the thing that I wish was true because I like money.
They had
Was it in Endgame? Who knows? But I want a taco.
Did they have the coffee grounds that you're not supposed to put in the garbage disposal like Tony Stark says, or the peanut butter sandwich that she? Why do I remember so many food?
Yeah, that
scenes
was
from that.
that's really odd.
Ricardo Eustacia says, "This is not real.
What is not real?
These pictures,
They're real.
buddy, these are real. These are as real as it gets." Okay, now we're looking at something else. What's going on here?
But anyway, the food is themed to be either too big or too small. Because it's
Oh, that's fun.
Pim's
That's kinda
Kitchen.
neat.
So like, there's a chicken sandwich where the chicken part is like this much bigger than the bun part.
Okay, that's
And they're gonna charge you $30.
Yeah,
I got
buddy.
pictures. They got a slideshow of the food too. We
That's
got
a
we got
juice.
everything in
That's
this
a
art.
juice.
What is
How
that?
big's the juice?
It's probably pretty big.
banana for scale.
I mean, sciencey drinks. That makes sense.
Imagine
Drinking out
this,
of the
but really
beaker.
big.
Where's
Okay.
the chicken
got it?
sandwich?
Huh?
I don't know. There's a pretzel.
Oh,
That's a big ass pretzel.
That's a big pretzel.
I don't want that much pretzel.
See, there's the chicken sandwich. You see how big the chicken part is, and then
That's-
the tiny little bun.
That's funny, but stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems uncomfortable to eat.
Well, it's not meant for one person either. It's a shareable like chicken tender meal. Basically, they just decided to throw a little bun on top and be like, "Oh, look at this! They made the chicken too big."
Yeah, guys, it's low carb. The bun is tiny because of Dr. Pim's wacky experiments.
There you go.
They just wanted to save money on bread.
And the chicken wings are big not because of genetic mutation, but
What's up with these
because of-
colors?
Sorry,
What's up with these colors?
the
They're
blue parts.
fun, Jeremy.
What's
that-
going on there?
They're just fun.
Were they like Nebula got forehead blood on this after fighting her father in a garage? I don't know why I think they always
Yeah.
fight. They kind of all do fight in garages.
But it does pair very well with the bacon we put in it.
Hey, all right. Do they have one that's just like a panini that Rocket Raccoon touched with his little hands?
That's basically this.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, all right.
You can see his little handprints on it.
Wild. What a wild time.
A giant meatball with a tiny fork.
That's
Wow.
I don't like that at all. I don't want that. No,
Do you
thank
guys remember at Disneyland where they had a Toy Story thing and like it was just giant furniture? I would want that for the Pim Labs. Like, make it seem like you're,
I'll
a
say
shrunk
that.
down person in like a normal area. That'd be cool.
I
Or the
wanna know-
opposite. I want to feel like a kaiju.
What's up with this?
What?
They got like little spider robots.
Aw.
That's cool, I think. Why? Just
I don't know.
because? So it's like the
out.
droid builder thing, except with spider robots.
Yeah. How much does that cost, the droid builder thing? Do you guys know?
I think it's like $150 or something. 100
Somebody in the
Yeah,
chat verify this for me.
Oh man, somebody in the chat said Smurf sandwich.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
don't
would-
don't
Makes a
tell
lot more
those
sense.
French people that.
Yeah. I would be interested to go to like a Honey I Shrunk the Kids type of location, you know, and then you go around the corner and there's like a gigantic fake Oreo, but it's
Yeah.
also a snack bar, and somebody's like, "Hey, we'll scoop that out for you," but then it's just like regular. It's like a mousse or something.
Yeah.
It's made to taste like Oreo frosting.
Queen Bee in the chat says
smart.
probably $300. I don't know. I think that's about how much the lightsabers are.
The
Lightsabers like 200. Yeah.
I can't see this being more than $100, but I mean, it does look expensive.
Are those spider slayers?
Look at this thing.
Whoa.
That looks like it's made of real metal.
Are
pretty
those
cool, I
web
think.
shooters?
I'm into it.
Yeah. Do you think that shoots silly string or something? That'd be kind of tight.
Was that whole thing in Far From Home where he gets like the custom Spider-Man suit? Was that like, are they doing lightsabers but with Spider-Man gear? But they had to create that scene in the movie to make sense of it.
It seems like it. Do you think that they just made that scene in that movie so that they could sell this product to us at
I
this
think
Do you,
so.
hard-
whoa, are you guys saying they were doing something so that Disney can make money?
It sounds crazy. I know.
No.
Let me put
What?
on my tinfoil hat here.
Jeremy.
You know, if we were at a Disney park, that tinfoil hat would be over $200 because it was based on the
least.
tinfoil hat from Guardians 3. When Thor goes mad with power and has to wear a new hat. I don't know what they're going to do with that.
I mean,
That's
there
right.
goes any chance of getting the show on Disney Plus. So
Yeah, it's fine.
What else do we got here?
I don't know. Is there more corporate greed?
There's all kinds of stuff. They have a whole web store. Oh, we couldn't live without our Funko
Oh.
Pops.
Hey, there they are.
Very me.
If it exists, there's a Funko Pop of it. If anybody in the chat can think of something that there's not a Funko Pop of in pop culture, I would be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked.
Carl Childers from Sling Blade.
That's not really like nerd culture. It might still exist though. I'm gonna check.
All right, fine. The Anaconda from Anaconda.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Are there
good luck.
Are there any Snake Funko Pops?
No, that's the one thing you can't make into a Funko Pop.
I typed in Sling Blade
Actually, not
Funko
sure.
Pop and I got Blade Funko Pop.
Yeah.
have they made Funko Pops for Academy Award winning Best Film Parasite?
No,
Ooh.
I hope they do not do that.
There's a Snake Funko Pop. Is that Anaconda?
That's the Voldemort snake.
Oh, that's Nagini.
It's actually really scary looking. I don't know. It's the scariest one.
There's a Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah, there's actually several snake
Pretty good.
Funko Pops.
There's a lot of snakes.
You guys want to talk about Dracula?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's the
we
deal
talk-
with all these Draculas?
What, all two of them?
Just Draculas in general. Seems like there's
That's
a lot of
too
them.
many.
Presently-
Max. I want 0 Draculas.
So let's see. Here are the news.
Is this the last story?
Yeah, we
Sure.
saved the best for last. This is really important, you guys.
Dracula, ending on a high.
I don't know. I didn't look at the clock. We could have just wrapped it up. But Dracula.
Let's talk about it real quick. I got a clip from the new movie here.
Sure, pull it up.
What about?
Yeah, so what is it? Universal and Blumhouse are partnering to make a new Dracula film, which is sort of following Invisible Man, doing really well, which was not trying to build a dark horror Universal monsterverse, and instead was just like, hey, what if we made a movie that was worth doing? Hey, is it Dracula Dead and Loving It?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Peter McNichol, my man. So yeah, like I totally saw this movie a whole bunch as a kid, and like I think I later saw Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I get them completely confused, and I get like those scenes mixed up a lot.
Pretty much the same thing. I get it.
Yeah. But yeah. So they're doing. They're giving. Let's see. Where does it say? Oh yeah. Where's the?
What?
Where's that? Oh, Karen Kusamas is going to be
Directing it.
directing it.
Oh, of Destroyer fame.
Yes. What is Destroyer?
It's that Nicole Kidman movie where she played somebody that destroyed things.
That
She
sounds
played, like,
great.
a violent cop. or a
Yeah.
cool
Okay.
cop.
She played like a very troubled cop.
I'm
Yeah.
stoked on the idea of them giving like these classic horror monsters to directors who are going to do something interesting. Did you just Google image search Destroyer and pulled up a bunch of pictures of boats?
Yeah, I forgot.
You making fun of me for highlighting the word campus?
Yeah, I forgot Destroyer was the name of a boat.
Wait, I want to be clear about something. This is not part of. They're not doing the Universal
No.
like shared universe thing
No.
anymore.
No.
Is it? So it's because they didn't make enough money on The Mummy with Tom Cruise?
Yes.
That thing
Yeah.
made $400 million on a $125 million investment. Was that not enough for them?
Pathetic. That's not Marvel money.
Can you imagine making like hundreds of millions of dollars in profit and being like, well, that was a
I
freaking
think
waste
they
of time.
were the laughing stock, though. I think everyone just really just lambasted them so much that they were like, we should not do this.
That didn't stop DC.
It's kind of crazy. They had like a
Still
whole
working at it.
They had a whole A-list cast lined up for that like universe too. Javier Bardem as I already forgot.
Well, that doesn't.
Wolfman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Johnny
doesn't-
Depp as Invisible.
But they were
Man.
like trying to make them sort of enemy superheroes, but not like I don't know. Are they
I don't know
monsters?
what.
Yeah,
I didn't know what their big crossover movie.
We
was
already had the
about.
big crossover movie. It was called Monster Squad, and it was
Yeah.
dumb as hell. And like I don't know those. Like if you're gonna reinvent those characters, just I feel like maybe do
Imagine Tom Cruise.
They're better
Javier
off
Bardem.
going just way outside the box like they did with Invisible Man.
yeah, seriously.
for sure.
People seem to like that one. I haven't seen it yet, but
Is it? Yeah, it seems a little bit more like grounded too.
Give me a Creature from the Black Lagoon movie that's legitimately terrifying. Like give me like a Fluke Man.
well, that's
movie.
isn't that what James Wan is doing? He's doing something.
Is he? Is he
Yeah.
doing a creature movie?
And it might be weird to go from Aquaman to like Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Did you see Aquaman?
A little bit of
Yeah.
no, I haven't
Aquaman.
seen it.
There are totally terrifying monsters in that. It gets like there's all sorts of like nasty like fish boys who show up at the end there.
Nasty Fish Boys.
Really nasty.
And
Nasty Boys.
they're doing a spinoff of the Nasty Fish Boys.
For real?
Yeah, it's called Fish Nasty.
Yeah. It's part of the fish.
Where do I pre-order my tickets for that?
Yeah, Fish Nasty.
I would watch a movie called Fish Nasty. Did you guys there's a movie coming out that I'm dying to see. It is from the director of Swiss Army Man.
I'd watch anything that
Daniels.
person directs.
It sounds
Oh, you're talking about
completely-
the
I'm
boat
talking about the
one.
boat movie.
Yes, the boat movie.
The boat movie.
It's
Is
called.
it called The Boat Movie?
It's called Speedboat or something.
We have to look this up. This is the best.
No.
Is it a horror movie?
Robert Redford came out of retirement for this movie.
It's called Omniboat, a fast boat Fantasia.
There we go.
It is.
you made that up.
Walk us through
I
it.
did not make this up. Let me read you the byline for this. This is the best. I'm so excited for this
It's
movie.
so good.
It sounds utterly bonkers. It is an anthology-style love letter to the city of Miami as seen through the eyes, or rather the windshield, of a rip-roaring speedboat.
Stoned Rambo 01 said they guessed it was called Tugboat.
In the first few minutes of this movie, the speedboat, which is named Lane Pipe, has sex with a souped-up monster truck and gives birth to a baby speedboat, which has monster truck wheels mounted to its undercarriage.
Did you get a sentient AI to write that? Because there's no way that's real.
It is 100% real. They premiered it at Sundance. It is one of the directors on it is Robert Redford's grandson, and he convinced Robert Redford, Hollywood legend, to come out of retirement to voice a dolphin deity, I believe.
2020 is wild, y'all.
Adam Pally and Finn Wolfhard play an uncle and nephew, respectively, who go out on the boat one day and try to befriend rapper Uncle Luke from Two Live Crew, a major figure in the Miami community.
What?
Yeah.
Yes!
And it's all told from the perspective of the boat.
Rick Ross
is it.
is embodied by an alien who has a moment of pure creativity.
Yeah. Water
it?
movies are.
This is
are
going to be the
fast,
best
dude.
movie.
Can we just
Omniboat,
give it the Oscar right now?
Omniboat is
Yeah.
going to be one of the best movies of the year, I guarantee it.
Pure
Guaranteed.
cinema.
Yes.
Pure cinema.
Should we wind things up here?
Yeah.
I think we've done our work. Did we just get okay boomered by someone?
What?
Wow, we almost made it through a whole episode without
Aw,
getting
man.
okay boomered.
For what? We're talking about boats. Maybe it's because I mentioned Robert Redford.
Yeah.
Sounded like an old man when
Or
I
maybe
said
it was Two Live Crew.
Are they? I think they're boomers at this point.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Anyway, what do you think about Two Live Crew? Let us know in the comments or wherever. Just write it on a wall somewhere. It's fine. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. Pacific, on all of IGN's various streaming platforms. Some of us will be here, some of us will not. You'll have to tune in to find out whomstive.
What does that mean? That sounded like a threat.
I'm not going to be here.
Yeah, one of us is getting voted off for
Yeah.
this show.
I
don't
didn't
know.
realize this was an elimination
We have
show.
like a weird
They're
rotating
recycling
schedule.
this TV
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Vote
gonna
now.
wheel you
Vote
into the
now.
corner.
Who should not be here on the next show?
I think we should leave your TV on and just slowly turn off all the lights. And this, like, you have to stay there and be like, wait until they just be like, the TV on.
You're going to stream for hour 2.
Anyway, thank you all for watching. And please wash your hands. Good night.
Bye-bye.